of course, Oyo State, having to do with herders and farmers. For those who may not know, herders and farmers have had it, for years, because what we usually find is the farms are not fenced, so it's easy for the cattle to graze openly. It's open grazing, so they go there. The cattle don't know that it's somebody's farm. They just see grass, right? And then they go eat. But they have herders who should guide them. That's why they're there. And the farmers, many of them are usually, indigenous. They're farming. It's on their land, mostly subsistence farming. And then they come and everything is gone. Why? Because the cattle has eaten them all up. So when this thing started, the Ondo State governor said all herders occupying the forest reserve vacate the area within the next 1 week, which is today. So this was last week, Monday. Because he said some criminals were hiding under the guise of herdsmen, turning the forest to a kidnap den. For those who followed the news for some time, we've heard about killer herdsmen. We've heard about, kidnapping being carried out by herdsmen. We've heard about robberies on the highways being carried out by herdsmen. But many times the question has been, but they don't have cattle. So how are you sure that they are herdsmen? And some people have gone ahead to say they are Fulani herdsmen. But the Ondo State government said we're not having any of that. Then presidential spokesman Gov't, who said the governor was wrong to order thousands of herdsmen out of the state. And people started to ask, why is the presidency concerned about this? Why are you speaking out? Because some people have said that the president is sympathetic or, to herders, maybe because of, where they're from. But that hasn't taken away the real issue here, farmer-herder crisis. They've had that clash for a very long time. That's in Ondo State. In Oyo State, it was something else. So what happened in Oyo State? The guy, probably known as Sunday Igboho, gave an ultimatum. They went to sack the Syracuse residents in that state. It's an Asian community there. Igongo, that's what it's called. They claimed that the herders had collected 50 million naira in ransom and had raped 15 women. So he said, you must leave the area. So in the end, they ended up not just ejecting the Syracuse Fulani, they also burnt his house and his property, chased him out and his entire family. So there was a meeting over the weekend, and a government team went there, and they were trying to see how they can resolve the crisis in that part of the country. Some people are not sure why or if there should be any resolution of the matter at this point, aside the presidency talking. Some state governors have spoken, some Yoruba leaders have spoken, some groups have spoken, some are for and some are against, and some are, very, very silent. So I have Achike Chude. Achike Chude is a public affairs analyst on the phone, and he would shed some light on this matter. Good morning, Achike. Thank you for your time. Hello, Achike. Good morning. Hello?
Good morning, Enoh.
Yes, good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
So let's start with, was this inevitable? What has happened in Oyo and Ondo State, was it inevitable?
There's nothing that complex about the question you're asking. It was always going to happen. Therefore, it was inevitable because we have been moving inexorably towards the direction that we're, towards where we are now. And people have been warning about the division that is going on in this country. People have been warning about the insecurity that is going on in this country. I mean, insecurity has been an issue for quite some time, but insecurity with an ethnic coloration, I think, is something that people are worried about. because of the consequences that can further exacerbate the crisis in the land. And so this is exactly what is happening. Yeah.
So
it's inevitable.
Okay, so now we're hearing that there'll be several meetings taking place today on this matter. How critical is it that they find a resolution now?
It is critical. I mean, for something that has the possibility of conflagration or combustion, something that has a very serious tinge of ethnic coloration. Sometimes you mix it with religion, because the reality is that whenever conflict of an ethnic or religious dynamic, engulfs a country, it is not put out quickly. So that is the problem. And so this is not just a problem of insecurity, like I said, but it is tinged with some level of ethnic coloration, because a particular set of people have been identified as perpetrating some violence in certain parts of the country. And this has been going on consistently, especially in the past 5 years. And so people are responding to these security issues on the basis of their ethnic, affiliation.
Okay.
You will not exactly blame them, because people have been talking about it consistently, that a particular group of people have constituted themselves into, a serious security nuisance in parts of the country. And but it is not to say that the people of
Hello? All right, must be the network. We'll get back to Achike Chude to continue the conversation. Something critical he said, this has a religious and ethnic coloration, and that makes it look like it's going to explode if the issues are not resolved right now. But I'm beginning to wonder, 50 million naira paid in ransoms, over how long? The state government, where was the state government? This is Ibarapa Northwest Local Council Development Area of Oyo State. Where was the government? Where was the council chairman when 50 million was paid? Because 50 million could have been paid in a month. So the rapes that took place, over what period? Do you understand? Then on the other side, Akeredolu, is he acting too quickly or he's acting slowly? We'll get back to Achike on the phone. We're Nigerian for Port Harcourt. Stay tuned.
Have you witnessed anything that is of public importance? Are you in possession of useful information that, if exposed, would be for public good? A Nigeria
Info, you are not just a listener, you are.
We crossfire in the morning. Crossfire in the morning. Get into the midday dialogue and tell you about the hard facts, and then let's talk into the chat station. All for you on 92.3 Nigeria Info. We crossfire in the morning. Crossfire in the morning. Get into the midday dialogue and tell you about the hard facts, and then let's talk into the chat station. All for you on 92.3 Nigeria Info. We crossfire in the morning. Crossfire in the morning. Get into the midday dialogue and tell you about the hard facts, and then let's talk into the chat station. All for you on 92.3 Nigeria Info. We crossfire in the morning. Crossfire in the morning. Get into the midday dialogue and tell you about the hard facts, and then let's talk into the chat station. All for you on 92.3 Nigeria Info. We crossfire in the morning. Crossfire in the morning. Get into the midday dialogue and tell you about the hard facts, and then let's talk into the chat station. All for you on 92.3 Nigeria Info. We crossfire in the morning. Get into the midday dialogue and tell you about the hard facts, and then let's talk into the chat station. All for you on 92.3 Nigeria Info. We crossfire in the morning. Get into the midday dialogue and tell you about the hard facts, and then let's talk into the chat station. All for you on 92.3 Nigeria Info. We crossfire in the morning. Get into the midday dialogue and tell you about the hard facts, and then let's talk into the chat.
Okay, thank you for talking to us again.
Yeah.
A question I asked while I was trying to reconnect was this: for the Oyo issue, for example, what they have said, talking about Sunday Adeyemo, probably known as Igboho, Sunday Igboho, said that the Seriki Fulani, Salihu Abdul Kadir, and herdsmen were perpetrating crimes ranging from kidnappings, killings, rape, to invasion of farmlands with their cattle. And I'm saying that they said the figure was about 50 million naira ransom. Do you understand? They paid that. So I was asking, did the Oyo State government, let's leave the government out. Oyo State, would you say that they left it for too long? Because for 50 million to be paid in ransoms, I'm sure that didn't happen in 30 days.
No, nobody left anything for too long. The reality is that we also cannot forget the fact that the security architecture of this country is left firmly in the hands of the federal government. And though there is this designation as of a governor of a state as the chief security officer of the state, we know that that is not exactly true, because the man who runs the security operation in the state, that is the commissioner of police, takes his primary instruction from the Inspector General of Police. And so he's beholden on the Inspector General of Police. Therefore, the hands of the governor of a state is limited in Nigeria. But we all know that this insecurity has been going on, of course, in parts of the country. We are talking about the West. Now, we cannot forget the fact that I think the daughter of Fashoranti, the leader of the Afenifere, was kidnapped, somewhere between Lagos and Benin Expressway, and later killed. And also, that prompted the Enoh Ogbevire and some traditional rulers from the West, that prompted their visits to the presidency to express mysterious misgivings about the insecurity in the Southwest and the need to do something. And the presidency actually said they are going to do something. It was on the basis of that, if you remember, that the issue of some militias to curtail what is going on, Amoteku and the rest, all of these things evolved from that particular situation. But the Amoteku that was eventually allowed to be set up is one that is toothless. They are not allowed to carry arms and the rest. And so the insecurity has continued unabatedly in the Southwest, with so many people being killed in their farmlands and so on, apart from the natural invasion or the invasion of farmlands by cattle, herders and the rest. Kidnapping has taken place, raping takes place, and killings and all that. So the people have been crying for quite some time over what has been going on.
What about the government? What about the governor? For example, with the NSAS thing, I know that the Lagos State governor has visited the president at least twice over that matter. What has Seyi Makinde done about this? Because you say the people are crying. What about the governor? Was there nothing he could do? Are you there?
Yeah, okay, it's clearer now.
So I'm saying that you say the people have been crying. Yes, but Oyo, for example, what has Seyi Makinde done?
But I just established a template for the crisis that is going on. If you are said to be in charge of security and you're not in charge of security, you're limited. Because you see, this tendency to want to blackmail governors. I'm not saying governors are performing fantastically well when it comes to security issues.
Okay, pause, Achike. Let's go to the NSAS protest, right?
Go on.
How did the army get to Lekki toll gate?
Oh yes, look. Sorry, there was a convergence of interest between the federal government, obviously, and the Lagos State government. There's no doubt, and there are political elements within Lagos State. So that is not to say That is not to say that the Lagos State governor gave an instruction to the army. That decision had been taken, and the Lagos State government cooperated with it, with the decision that was taken. Yes, it is the same thing. So, if, for instance, the federal government, like in the case of Oyo State, wants to do something that has to do with security, the governor of Oyo State is expected to, at least cooperate with the federal authorities in order to stem the tide of incident. But when you have a situation where, for instance, there are differences of opinion about how there's very little he can do. If he wants, for instance, the IG, or the Commissioner of Police to do certain things, and the Commissioner gets back to the IG, and the IG gives a counter order, there's nothing the governor can do. So these are the things we're talking about. So these are the dynamics that are playing out.
Okay.
You understand? And so in this particular matter, yes, like you are saying, they are discussing, terms for peace and all that. That is very, very good. But the reality is that you have allowed this thing to fester for so long without doing anything about it. And so the people themselves have gotten tired of it. And do not also forget, for instance, the former Chief of Army Staff, Chude Danjuma, at a convocation in one of the universities in the north, when he was saying, look, you can no longer continue to rely on the armed forces to protect you, otherwise you're all going to die in your bed. That people should be able to defend themselves. Now, people do not have the means to defend themselves because the government has warned them severally, especially when the constant killings in Benue continued unabatedly too. And they were talking about arming themselves and being able to be in a position to defend themselves. And the federal government warned them that anybody that is caught with arms, will be dealt with decisively.
Yeah.
But you also have a group of people that carry arms openly all over the country. AK-47.
Well, Achike, that's not. I mean, they're not the only ones carrying arms. I mean, we're here in River State. We have vigilantes carrying arms, even though the government has said no. Even though the police have said, submit your arms. Do you understand what I'm saying? So yes, perhaps they carry arms. Not all of them. Right outside my office, every now and then we see headers. They don't have any weapons. I mean, I've never seen anyone with weapons. I see them every other week. Do you understand? So this is what, I think part of what Garba Shehu's document read, that it is very important that they draw a line between law-abiding citizens and those committing crimes.
Look, listen, I was reading a release by the deputy leader of the OPC under Freddy Fashion. About the millions of peaceful, loving Fulanis, you understand, that are going about their duties as citizens of this country peacefully, that those people must be protected, you understand, but that the criminal elements from within their midst must be fished out. So a line has been drawn, and if you remember the instruction by the Ondo State, governor, he was talking about people that were located in the forest, criminal elements in the forest, that they should leave the forest. He wasn't talking about peaceful citizens. And he also said something. He said, look, we need to know who are those who are in the forest and what they're doing in the forest. Is there anything wrong with that? Especially when the forest is being associated with all kinds of criminal activities that have led to loss of lives in those states. So he has a right. What he said makes sense. Now, he's not saying every Fulani must vacate on those states, but that they must leave the forest. Let us know. And then for those who have to be in the forest, let us understand the basis of their being in the forest. Let them come and register so we know who to hold. I think we should be fair when we are looking at things from this perspective. The governor's statement is just being taken out of context. He has a duty to protect the people in the state, both the Yorubas and non-indigenous of Ondo State. He has that duty because it's a constitutional mandate, and that mandate does not allow any governor to just treat, to secure the lives of his own, citizens, and then of his own indigenous, and then allow insecurity to become the lot of the non-indigenous. He has a duty to protect everybody in the state, regardless of their religious, ethnic colorations and all that. So these are the issues. But something of significance that came up as a result of this is the fact that the Nigerian state, has failed to respond to some of these dynamics that are playing out, and that is why we are seeing this ethnic coloration. We didn't have this situation. We didn't have people from the southwest, for instance, asking criminal Fulani elements to leave the southwest 2 years ago, or last year, or 3 years ago. It is simply because this thing has gotten out of hand. And beyond that is the fact that at a time, about 2-3 years back, members of some northern youth, asked all Southeasterners, all people to leave the north.
Yeah.
This member.
Yeah.
What was the response of the government? The government did not, the kind of response that we're having now from even Gov't and so on was not what we saw. The response that we're having from the Inspector General of Police is not what we saw. Instead, they were calling them to meeting and they were giving them airspace, on news networks and so on, and they were making statements even on television. And you see them, responding in ways and manners that can only agitate the minds of people and inflame passion. And the government did not do anything.
So for you,
on mainstream media.
So for you, the government has shown bias. Did you hear me?
Thank you. So can you hear me? I can hear you.
Yeah. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
So you now have this Igboho making a statement, and that statement is wrong. You understand? That's what you cannot ask people, because the people have a right. This country belongs to them, to everybody, whether Fulani, Igbo, Hausa, minority, majority, and so on. Nigeria, the whole territory of this country belongs to every single one of us until we withdraw, the constitutional provisions of this country to state otherwise. So everybody has a right. But again, when this thing continues like this, you understand, people have no choice than to begin to put themselves in a position where they say, God, since government cannot protect us, we have to protect ourselves.
All right.
So when the other one, you make that explanatory statement, the government did not respond in last night. The IG did not issue an instruction to arrest the leadership. I think Yerima, who made that statement on behalf of the Northern youth. Now this person has, and that is what, and when something like this happens, it is critical. It is at such moments that people begin to question again what they have been questioning all this while. They find that the security architecture of this country is in the hands of certain people from certain parts of the country. So it becomes that for the president. Even if the president does not have malice in mind, even if the president does not have mischief in mind, people will attribute what is going on and these biased responses by government to the fact that the president deliberately has subverted the constitution of this country by making sure that the principles of the federal character are observed in the
but Achike, in 2017, the IG actually ordered the arrest of any of the Arewa group that molests, Igbos following that, eviction order. And I recall El Rufai also ordered the arrest of the person who asked the Igbos to vacate the north.
That's right, were they arrested? Because I'm aware of persons that Igboho has been arrested from the information that I got. You understand? So you see, look, if you want to be a father, I'm talking about the president now, you be a father to everybody. And you don't forget that when he made that very famous statement, the statement that nobody believes in anymore, I am president. How did they put it again? I'm
for
president.
Everyone, I'm for no one.
I'm for
everyone,
I'm
for no one. Yeah.
People were so happy with him because they said this is the kind of president that we want, and he was praised by everybody. You understand? But what we have seen shows that he's
the network wouldn't let us have a smooth show this morning, but I'll get back to Achike on the phone. Let's hear what Sunday Igboho said, and after that, the commercial, and we'll return to the conversation. We're Nigerian for Port Harcourt. Stay tuned.
Baba wa Dele Momo, Baba wa Femi Fanikayode, Baba wa Fayose, Baba wa Basejo, gbogbo àwọn baba wa ku baba yeye aláṣẹ ìkejì.
You are tuned in to 92.3 Nigeria.
Connect with your customers. Advertise on 92.3 Nigeria Info. Visit our downtown office at Shop 9, Mediatrix of All Gracies Plaza, opposite FIRS, Stadium Road, Port Harcourt, and book your commercials. Call 0817 001 8162. That is 0817 001 8162. And let us connect you to your customers. Achike back on the phone. He's a public affairs analyst joining us from Lagos via the phone. But some things he has said, the farmer herder clashes. Now, I mean, with the allegations of kidnappings and, robberies and all that, killings as well, it shifts, the narrative. The federal government's response, he said, is biased. And that the governors have basically done what, they're supposed to do. Referencing Akeredolu, he said what Akeredolu said wasn't that the people, or the Fulanis or the herders vacate the states. No, he just said don't graze in the forest reserves. Leave the forest reserves alone. That's why they're called reserves. You can do that natural reserves, and also you can't graze at night. You can't graze on the roads. Don't move around at night. Just stop moving. No movement at night. 08179230002, 08179230003. And what I played, that was a Sunday Igboho hailing, some elder statesmen from that part of the country. 08179230002, 08179230003. But now they're having meetings today to try to resolve the issues. What are your thoughts? Please put off the radio and let's talk. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Okay, let's try to get to Achike already. But if you're on WhatsApp, 0809030616. Good morning.
Hello.
Hello. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. There's someone from Port Harcourt.
All right, let's hear you.
Please, I don't see anything wrong with what the governor of Ondo State has just done. If you look at the Land Decree Act of Nigeria, which is the creation of the Nigerian Constitution, the land belongs to the state. They give C of O, the distance to the land. So if the governor considers activities of the Fulani herdsmen, their business or whatever thing they do there, very unsafe for the people of Ondo State, I don't see anything wrong telling them to leave the place. I mean, the land they are occupied doesn't belong to them. It's people's land, and they are massacring people all over the country. I wonder why people are discussing this issue. Why is Fulani people becoming an issue in Nigeria?
Okay, so it's not Fulani people. Herders, farmers clash, yes. And in Oyo State, the Seriki Fulani, yes. But they're saying that people are still in Oyo State. Fulanis are there. They're living peacefully. So if some of them are doing something wrong, perhaps that's why we're having this conversation. But it can't be all of them. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Let's hear you.
Yeah, my simple question is, since the governor of Ondo State has asked those guys to leave that land,
the forest reserve.
If they leave today, yes, the forest region, if they leave today, especially in Oyo State, I hope there will be no single crime again in that state. What happened to those people who are from the area that are committing crime? Those killings in Onega, for instance, were they done by Fulani S-men? So if they remove Fulani from this Nigeria right now, because there is no other people in other regions that commit crime anymore. So whatever crime that they commit now, when they kidnap Reverend Father in Imo, it is Fulani S-men. But when the police will arrest, it will be the people from around that area. So for me, I pray that if they leave the day, there will be no time to get out the heaven is. That's my
Right, thank you for calling.
Hello.
Hello.
Good morning,
Good morning.
Yeah, my name is Chris. If you look at the statement of the governor, not say men should leave. He said killer herdsmen should leave the state. They should vacate the state. And that is why even Sunday also made that statement. Because these people, they've been killing, kidnapping here and there, harassing their women. And all this while, my take is that the federal government, all this while the federal government kept quiet. Why? When they give the order, now the federal government, within 24 hours, they are reacting. Means the government is not really cooperative. They are always reactive to some sensitive issues. And when it comes to security, the government should be able to be very, very cooperative. Because security can, a slight mistake can trigger up this country. and we are one Nigeria. But these people, they don't behave as if we are one Nigeria. They always want to take advantage of the other citizens.
All
so
right.
For me, that relocation, the governor is in order. They should relocate.
Thank you. You know, every time I hear people say it, I mean, we've had CPs, criminal elements leave the state. Where do they go to? Where do they go to? Shouldn't we be arresting and prosecuting instead of saying leave the state? We're Nigerian folk.
Yeah, good morning. This is Mr. Zion.
Good morning.
Indeed, that is a concern. Where will they live to? They should come to my state, and after they operate, to also ask them to leave my state. The truth is this. When the cliché killer X-Men was inducted to this nefarious act committed by a particular set of people, I knew there is the hand of a monkey backing these people. Growing up as a child, X-Men are welcome in my community somewhere in Bayelsa State. November, December, January, February. Let me even shock you. Our Christmas cow and New Year cow is being given by these X-Men to my community because they are accommodated and welcome. Even the Nunu, we call it Nunu. In the morning, I, Mr. Zion, we go to them. They will pump Nunu for me. I will bring it home. We were loving and peaceful together, not until this present age. What went wrong? Until we fix it, we'll keep having the same problem. And that name, Killer X-Men, we are just being so, what I'm trying to look for a word to qualify that, to identify that word now. Killer X. We are pretentious. We are not sincere to tell the truth. We'll now cover it, Killer X-Men. There is nothing like Killer X-Men. There are people who are committing this crime. And these same people, most of them or some of them, are also wearing cattle. And there are papers to show, go to those communities that have been affected. How can somebody back out to your community in the name of Fulani or cattle or whatever, and the Fulani men will not show them, please don't join us, so we are just showing our cattle, carry your clan and go to another place, so please leave us alone. We don't want to cause problem between our host community. Why haven't they done that?
All right.
The president should rise up to this occasion.
All right. Thank you very much for calling. That's all we can take. But then again, does that not also ask a question? Are they really of Fulani extraction? You know, many people will tell you that for a crime to be committed anywhere, that the locals have to be involved in some way. Maybe, so how is it that these things are able to happen and the locals all of a sudden are now very saintly? I'm trying to get Achike Chude back on the phone. We're on Twitter at NigerianFoPH, on WhatsApp 08090306416. If you'd like to join the conversation, feel free to do so. Hello, good morning.
Network has been exceptionally bad. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Thank you for your time again. So, I mean, some people have said that, is it possible that all of a sudden all the crimes committed are carried out by herders or Fulani people? What are your thoughts on that?
No, again, they're wondering whether what?
All the crimes being committed, the kidnappings, the killings, everything is now done by herders or Fulani people.
No. Nobody is saying that, and nobody can say that, because that would be unfortunate for anybody to say that. The reality is that the activities of a particular people is something that people have been talking about all over the country. So I don't think it is deliberate. We know that there have been kidnappers during the Niger Delta insurrection. We're having a kidnapping attributed to the people of the south of the south of the Niger Delta. So it wasn't about just wanting to do the wrong kind of profiling. There are still activities of kidnapping going on in the Niger Delta.
But it is not possible, Achike, that because of the coinage, Fulani herdsmen, some people, miscreants, bandits, hoodlums, whatever they want to call them, are taking advantage of that.
People do. I mean, in every situation, in every act of terrorism. Sometimes you find sometimes, but you have mainstream, and then you have splinter groups sometimes, and you have people who act independently, to carry out certain heinous actions that are attributed to the main group. These things are always there. There's no doubt about that. There's always that danger. And that is why the government has to go all out to ensure that the tag that is being attributed to certain people. And do not also forget that at the time, the government was leaning on most media houses to call the headsmen, when people are using the term Fulani headsmen. They put pressure on them and said, no, you are tagging them wrongfully. You can call them headsmen, but not Fulani headsmen. And I noticed that a lot of the media houses complied. And instead of using the word Fulani headsmen, they were calling them headsmen. You understand? But that also does not remove the fact that a lot of people, a preponderance of people from a particular ethnic group are involved in certain crimes. You understand? And whether it is 419, whether it's 419, whether it's all manners of crimes. Sometimes you have a preponderance of a particular ethnic group indulging in those crimes. It could be prostitution.
All right.
But therefore, you cannot say, for instance, that everybody from those states, every girl from Delta State is a prostitute. I think that would be wrong.
All right,
Achike, the government has to go out of its way to ensure that this tag does not stick.
Okay, let's just wrap this up. There are going to be several meetings taking place today. What would you like to see at the end of the meetings?
I want the right kind of statement to come out from political leaders and then from security agencies and then those representing, especially the Fulani groups. I think somebody was complaining, that each time that there's an issue against or accusations against the Fulani, some of their leadership will not come out to say, look, to condemn the very bad elements within them, and then also talk about the virtues of the good ones. These are the things we expect. So we don't expect anybody, if some Igbo people are doing things that are bad, we should expect the leadership of the Igbos to also call them out. But also remind the nation that there are wonderful, good Igbo people around. People from every ethnic group, it is the same thing. We have bad elements, we have good elements, across board. But we should emphasize on the goodness of the majority and also talk about the badness of the minority.
All right.
So this is what I expect. And then the government now needs to do much more to give confidence that it is actually not biased in handling this situation, in a particular way.
All right. Thank you very much, Achike, today for your time.
Thank you.
All right. So we wait and see the outcome of the meetings. We wait to see the outcome of the meetings today concerning this matter in Oyo and Ondo State. My name is Enoh Ogbevire. Good morning.